Hello and welcome to SEN Corporate Connect. I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ Market Site in Times Square. And with me today, Jeremiah Schnee, the founder of Wealth and Values Initiative. So welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me about this group that you have created. It sounds just fascinating.
Thank you. Well, I'm delighted to be here. There are 3,000 single-family offices in America with a net worth each of around 100 million and up. And there are another 3,000 that don't even call themselves family offices. We call these legacy families. People think they lived a charmed life. I've, in my career, worked with many legacy families, and I came out of a family business in the Midwest that was a smaller version.
Okay.
Intergenerational wealth is another world. The statistics actually show that after the second generation, by statistic, 60% of the wealth of a typical family office or legacy family has been dissipated.
Has been gone, okay. Where does it go? Just spending? And
great question. Yeah. If you've seen one, you've seen one.
Okay.
But basically, the families proliferate, so numbers is part of it.
Okay.
But there is also a very important cultural component. The wealth creator, what we call G1, probably knew the value of every penny.
That's right.
And probably worked day and night his entire or her entire life. The next generation is born on another planet, as I said,
yes,
of wealth and of inheritance. And so it's a completely different culture. And there is typically a significant disconnect. And the third is another whole story. Yeah. So when you factor in the complexity of raising any kids, any parent, and then the wealth associated and the differences in culture, most wealth creators, G1s, did not go to school to learn how to transfer wealth and values across generations. So there are best practices that are critical to that.
And that is what your group is doing to help these families preserve the wealth for as long as they possibly can?
As long as they can. And some don't have the appetite, and that's fine. There are many wonderfully successful people who will basically say, look, I made it, I'll give it away to charity, my kids have to follow what I did, I had nothing.
Well, isn't it like Warren Buffett kind of doing something like that?
Somewhat.
Yeah.
A modified version, mind you, but still. But then there are others who say, look, it's critical that I find a way to keep them hungry, but they are set for life. And I want to figure out, how do I transfer the inspiration toward entrepreneurship when there isn't the desperate need that maybe I had?
That's right.
How do I transfer vision? And in many cases, the next gen is inspired by different things, impact investing, other things, maybe not going into the family business. So the legacy family definition is not just about going back into the business. It's about having a vision organizationally for the family that is a broad enough tent that will allow the next gens strategically to navigate, but still be part of a longer-term intergenerational culture.
Okay, so and this involves something called the dolphin culture that you've created, right? Tell me about that.
Yes. So if you swim with sharks, you bleed in the water. And all of us, unfortunately, have scars that come from business dealings in that vein. Many of the general public believe that every wealthy person and family is a shark. Not the case. Many have given, and given profoundly. So what we've tried to do is to draw a sharp distinction, speaking about family culture and values transfer, which we call the dolphin culture. So there is a code of conduct. It's not just a catchy phrase. And if you'd like, I can share 5 bullets as to what that code of conduct is. So it's to give first, even as a biz dev strategy, and to continue to give in a relationship. It's to earn trust with every touch. Don't be manipulative or casual about relationships, even new ones in business.
Okay.
It's to add value with every relationship, even if there's no transaction. It's to be a serial connector for others, which means you have to listen to where they want to go and help them along with your networks, just as you would like them to do for you. It's to build long-term relationship, which is the natural outflow of what I just said, but you have to walk the talk. Then it's to build community and monetize. So it's a vision that is very appropriate for legacy families, because in the end it's entrepreneurial, it's not just philanthropic, but there's a higher set of values and conduct involved.
That's excellent advice for anybody in business, no matter what your level of wealth or age even. That's just wonderful advice.
Thank you.
So Jeremiah, tell me a little bit about your work with the Henrik Lundqvist Foundation. What are you doing with that? How does he tie into it? Of course, New York Ranger fans know of him very well. So tell me about that.
Okay, so there is a three programmatic legged stool to what has emerged from this legacy family community that has borne out of this labor of love that we started with. One leg is called a Success to Significance Dinner Series. And so in order to impact the behavior and culture of these wealthy families and of others that come, what we've learned to do is to identify dolphins who have gone on to give back to the world and culture from sports, tech, and culture. So we honored Dikembe Mutombo, who gave $24 million of his own money to the founding of a hospital in the Congo and named it after his mother. People know he was an 18-term All-Star, but do they know what he did to give back? We honored Uri Levine, who founded Waze and sold it to Google for $1 billion, who's giving back in profound ways. We honored Soledad O'Brien, one of your colleagues in the media world, because of her impact on social justice and culture. So we have a dinner for each of these, and everyone knows what they did professionally, but what did you do to pivot toward giving back and elevating culture? Tell that part of your story. There's an emotional connection. Hopefully the people who attend are inspired. They'll give to their charities. They'll also build more philanthropy into their family culture, and it's a virtuous circle. So the next dinner is November 29th at the 101 Club. And thanks to Joe Micheletti, who's the official Rangers announcer, who's a friend of my chairman, Peter Cuneo. Cuneo is best known as the Marvel guy who sold Marvel to Disney for $4.3 billion. And has a great family office. And
I'm sure,
and we work closely. We work with a number of families like that. So Peter was close to Joe. Joe said, listen, this is a heart cause. It's wonderful. Let me see if I can get Henrik. Henrik agreed. Henrik has the Lundqvist Foundation, which is globally helping children of need. Wonderful work. Henrik accepted. So we'll honor him with the Dolphin Award. Joe will have a conversation with him. And there's some interesting perks that will flow, but $100 of every ticket will go directly to the Lundqvist Foundation, which allows a tax write-off certificate, and people get the write-off.
So real quickly, how can somebody find out more about the dinner and also your Wealth and Values Initiative?
Please go to www.wvievents.com. And you'll see the information about this. We also would love to have you email us directly. I can give you that email, and we'd love to invite anyone who resonates with these values and may love hockey, may love Henrik, may love the NHL, or just resonates with the dolphin culture and wants to have some of the magic rub off on them in that experience.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and thanks for what you do. It's great to see people giving back, so appreciate that. Jeremiah Schnee, and thank you as well for joining us. I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ Market Site. Have a great day.